Hello, I am the cartoonist M. Rashid. This cartoon, I made it like back in February, and it was inspired from me watching Facebook, and I noticed that there was this large, scattered group, random group of black people who were going out of their way to uh, rub white people on the back and assure them that they had their back and that they recognized that they were the good white people in their lives. And it was, there must have been a lot of activist reparation, like what happened in the past and what's going on now, and redlining, and there must have been a lot of that spilling over into a lot of people's feeds, and it triggered it triggered it triggered people into like I'm from Detroit. I'm from a chocolate city, and I came to realize over the years when talking to black people who were not from chocolate cities like that, who grew up with a wider, diversity range and a lot of white people around them, that their mentality and how they move in the United States is different. You know, they can be, if your business network and where you find yourself, and you're reaching out to like other people who are different from you, and you've been that way all your life, it very well might color like how you think about certain things. I took for granted being from Detroit for a long time. I went into my 30s till I like had serious conversations with people out in California, who didn't have my experience and didn't really know what it was like, you know. So people who, you remember Richard Pryor's bit when he went to Africa, and it was this profound spiritual, like, oh, people like me, feeling he had. And people who, if you're not from a chocolate city, I think you're most likely to like have that type of experience when you like see a whole bunch of black people, you know. So I took it for granted, you know. I thought it was interesting as a curio, that Richard Pryor bit. But it wasn't until I went to college that I like have those kinds of experiences, you know, outside of like my group. So I was still very much who I am, and could have different experiences, outside of my group and be objective in it, you know, instead of having an anchor there that I don't know how to survive without this. I'm playing around with those concepts right now on the fly. So the danger inside of like what they were acting like they had to like gather around the good white people in their lives and assure them that, I'll protect you like from the, angry blackies. That's how it came across. There's no other way for it to come across. I'm sorry. It's what it looked like. It was a whole bunch of people who weren't even connected to each other than they were all in my friend list. So, the dangerous part that like Yvette pointed out the other day with one of those old classic Facebook memes of the old Jewish couple like fixing a tie and the young black man, random act of kindness. She pointed out that the random acts of kindness, you can do that all day, but the same people will turn around and vote against your interests. It's 400 years and counting, and I'm in no better position as a group because of how they vote. You can random act of kindness Photoshop me all day. That's not gonna fix us. So, like Antonio pointed out, you remember the Guardian article about predicting that by 2053 will be median wealth of zero. That was based upon that the national household wealth. White people control like hundreds of trillions of it, 100 trillion something, of it, and my people only control 6 trillion of it. And that 6 trillion is mostly in illiquid assets and pensions that the baby boomer generation have. That's where all those trillions are, that 6 trillion. So the Guardian article is basically saying that when that generation dies off, pensions are going to poof, and the usual suspects are going to aggressively take that land, take those houses, aggressively, the same way they have already. Very little of that is going to pass down to the next generation. And if it does, how are they going to maintain it? It's going to be a thing. So my wealth will drop to zero. And without the reparations, transformational politics, without justice, that we're doomed. They will bring the National Guard in and shove us back in the chains. It's obviously why they keep us where they keep us, so that they can play that game. So performative nice, random acts of niceness, neighborly niceness is not transformational politics. And they don't, what is the percentage of the American white population that is actively helping us? There was very few of them during the Civil Rights Act, during the Civil Rights Movement time, because most of those people were the serious ones got killed. The unserious ones who were playing the game were communists under their own agenda, doing something else and saying something, So you bending over backwards to, I'll take care of you, and you need anything, you let me know, and all that stuff. You need to focus on your own people. And I know it's hard, especially for those of you who don't have that connection outside of Good Times and the Jeffersons and stuff. If that's your understanding of blackness, the blackish, if that's your actual understanding, well, I'm black. Everything I know about black is, what I read off a Burger King cup or a Happy Meal or something, that people put together. If that's, it's hard for you to, that's why it's so easy for you to dismiss the race talk and the struggle talk and I just want to be happy and dance, and it's easy because you're not in it. You wear race as a lapel pin, and our ideological foe sees you wearing it that way and sees how flimsy it is. So when they say stuff pretending to be deep, pretending to be progressive in their talk, I'm like, I can't. Well, I can't wait for you, to race. We don't talk about race at all, and then guilt and your protectiveness of your random act of kindness, white, in your life. You're like, you're right. We're just humans, and you play that stupid game with them while your people are heading off the precipice, this economic precipice, towards zero. It's dangerous. That's what woke means to me. Wake up and do what you're supposed to do. Peace.